So if you're interested in learning how to use Kahoot as a teacher, we're going to start at kahoot.com. And this is where we're going to find the Kahoots, launch the Kahoots, play with the Kahoots, do everything as the teacher from this end. So we're going to come to the main dashboard here of Kahoot. And if you've never signed up before, you're going to want to sign up. If you have, you can go to log in. You can log in with your Google account. I happen to have a username and password, but my preference would be for you to log in with Google. And if you haven't, to sign up with Google. And then you're going to be able to sign in. So once we're logged in to Kahoot, it'll bring us to our main dashboard here. So on Kahoot, it's going to ask you if you want to pay. You don't have to. Continue for free. There you go. So when we're back to our main dashboard, we have our home, discovery, our library, our reports, and groups. We're not going to worry about groups for today. Our home just gives us a basic access to all of those different places. It does look rather busy. Don't feel intimidated by that. You don't have to worry about it. If you're looking for a Kahoot, you can come over to Discover. And right here, we can type in a concept. So if I'm looking for math for kindergarten, I can type that in. And it's going to give me a bunch of different math things that are tagged with those ideas. So math fact practice in kindergarten is the first one that comes up. Math in kindergarten. I'm going to select kindergarten edition 1 through 10. There's 19 questions. And when I click on it, it's going to open up and I get a basic idea. And I really like how this is set up. So it has, images and then the numeric, what it equals. And if I want to see the answers, I can click show answers and it's going to show me what options they're giving and which ones are correct. Other people make these and it's always worthwhile to check through and make sure that they're accurate, that the answers are correct, that you're comfortable with the images that are being used. We don't want to just kind of blindly take whatever anyone says. But this actually looks like a really nice Kahoot. It would work very well. Now you can see I've already favorited this one by giving it a star. So I'm going to hit favorite. And what that does for me is it puts it in my library as a favorite. Now, if for some reason I was uncomfortable with what was going on, I can edit someone else's work. And when I edit it, it's actually going to duplicate it and it's going to let me go in and make some changes. So if I decide that I wanted an incorrect answer to be 1, I could actually come in and really edit some of these questions. When I'm finished creating this, I'm going to hit done. I'm also given the option of renaming it here if I needed to. Once you finish making a Kahoot, either editing it yourself or if you create the entire thing, you can test it, you can play it, or you can share it. And we're going to talk about testing the Kahoot in just a moment. So I'm just going to hit the done button and move out. And again, we can discover anything we want. There's lots of fun Kahoots. There's clearly some sponsored Kahoots. All sorts of things are here. If we come over to our library tab, under the library, we have the recent Kahoots that we've accessed. So you can see that kindergarten one that I accessed and then the duplicate that I made myself. We can see drafts, and these are Kahoots that you're currently working on, but any of those favorites. So if there's some Kahoots that you found that you really like and you gave that little heart to, you're going to find them under favorites. And then if people have your username and they share them directly with you, you can find it right there. So under favorites, we've got all of this information. But what we're going to talk about now is if we choose to create our own Kahoot. So I'm going to hit the word create. Now, mind you, I can find that create button on any of my tabs. It's always right there. So it doesn't matter what screen you're on. And when we hit create, you're able to make your own Kahoot. There's templates, and templates are always great. But if we start from a totally blank Kahoot, we have the option to do this. We've got question 1. We've got a bunch of different question types. So maybe we want a quiz with a multiple choice, or maybe we just want a true false. Maybe you want the kids to put things into puzzles, or maybe you're just doing opinions where there's no right answer or an open-ended question, or you're creating a word cloud. Any of those are possibilities here. And you can set your time limit. Depending on your age and their access to information, you may want to boost that time up a bit. You may want to choose to give it points or double points or no points. And then you may want to have multiple questions that are correct instead of just the one. So then we can come over and we're going to add media. And the media is what the kids are going to see and base their question on. So maybe you want to put a picture in here or a YouTube video. You can upload it yourself from your computer and you'll type your question here. As we go through, you'll put your correct answers in, and as you type in, you can see you've got lots of options of how to create answers. And then when you have them in, you can actually just select which one is going to be our correct answer by giving it a check mark. You want to add additional questions, you can do it here. And again, that option that was over on the side comes right over here. Now, when you're done creating your Kahoot, you can hit done. If you're working on a draft and need to take a break, you can always hit exit, and you can see that your settings will be changed or saved. Now, to actually do a Kahoot, we're going to come over to libraries, we're going to hit our favorites, and we're going to try this kindergarten edition. So I'm going to click on it and open. And on our 3 dots here, we can actually preview what this is going to look like for a student, which I think for many of us is what we're trying to figure out what Kahoot looks like. So if I hit this preview button, it does a really nice job of showing me this is the teacher screen, and this is what will happen on the teacher screen. It's going to prompt the kids to go to Kahoot.it. It's going to create a game pin, and then this device over here would be the student's device. Now, if they're on a Chromebook, they can type in Kahoot.it, and the screen is going to look similar. If they're on an iPad, if they're on a phone, any of these devices are going to work exactly the same for Kahoot, which is great. And they're going to put in the pin number. So you could, if you're remote, put Kahoot.it in your chat. The kids will click that link and it will open up a tab for them. And then this is what they're going to see. They, in the Meet, can still hear your voice, so you can help prompt them, but they would actually be looking at that Kahoot screen. I'm going to put in today's pin. Mind you, every time you do this, the pin will change, and hit enter. And then the students are going to be prompted to put their name in. I'm going to put in my last name and OK, go. And you'll see that once the students are in, they'll pop up here. You'll have the number that you're looking for. If you have 18 kids in your class, you're going to want to see that 18 right there. And that's when you know that you can hit start on your game. We're going to have some fun noises, and we'll see that the questions are going to come up here. And here's the quiz. Question number 1, how many stars in all? Now, what's important here is on this game, they only see the options. So we've got 4 and 2. We know the answer is 6, and a kid would hit 6. But what's really great about the recent update for Kahoot is they allow you now to put the question and the answers on the student device. It's a one click that we have to set when we start our Kahoot, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. So this way you don't have to worry about the kids having to toggle between 2 screens. They'll be able to see all of their answers in one space. So this is how Kahoot would run. If I wanted to move to my next question, I hit next. Now what's going to happen when I hit next is it's going to tell me who's in first place. If your classroom is not a first place, second place kind of classroom, you may want to just click quickly and it'll skip right through. And then this will bring us to our next question. How many ducks in all? We'll look for the 6. If I get it incorrect, this is what it'll look like for the student. They'll get an incorrect button there. Now, for us right now, I'm going to come back over to Kahoot.com, and we're going to, again, log in, and I've got my username and password. I'm going to give it just a moment, log in, and it's going to bring me back over. Now, in real life, when we want to launch a Kahoot and we're going to be sharing it with our classes, I'm going to come over to my library. I'm going to go over to my favorites, and I'm going to pick that exact Kahoot. If I actually want to play it, this screen comes up. Now, there is a self-paced learning, which we can talk about in another video, but if we're going to do just the teach, we're going to click teach here. Now, it says for virtual learning, you can do this in class with students with a one-to-one devices. You can have them work in small groups. There's lots of great ways to use it in class as well as remotely. But what we're looking for is this option right here, show question and answers on player devices. When we turn that on, it's going to change that view for students. And instead of just seeing those 4 squares, everything that's up on the screen is also going to be on their device, and they'll have that interactivity. Once that's clicked, you're going to hit classic, and that pin is going to load. You're going to ask the students to go to Kahoot.it, and you can pull the link right here. And whether you are using iPads where this link is bookmarked, or you're using Chromebooks and you share the link with the students, however you want to do that, you'll share it with them. They'll enter the pin and you'll be able to get started. And that's how you can get started using Kahoot in your classrooms.